every chapter, I'm sure. So that type of lecture, so it will start. Everybody watch it and I'll share the video later on. So first of all, cost. Whatever syllabus is given, that's okay, step by step. But this lecture of mine will be touching all the syllabus, all the topics, all the items. And this will be helping you to remember a particular thing which comes in every exam, in other exam, in CA also you get it, that is cost sheet. But this lecture will be covering and helping that also. So I like to deliver this such lecture. So let's go very, slowly, not slowly, very fast. Cost means what? Cost is the amount of, that I define this way. So when you purchase something, then you give something, right? When you purchase something, give something. When you get, suppose you purchase ice cream, enjoy it. But when you pay 50 rupees, then suffer it, right? Pay. So that's why I define this way, no need to write and making it interesting. Cost is the amount of pain that we gain. No. Cost is the amount of pain that you suffer in heart when you gain something in return. Cost is the amount of pain that you suffer at heart when you gain something in return. This is our definition. Cost is the amount of pain. No need to write in exam. Exam many definitions given, but from my experience I give it this way. And this definition, no need to write now. Cost is the amount of pain that you suffer at heart when you gain something in return. Correct? Whatever teachers have already taught you, just reconcile those things and reconcile those things and think this way. Cost is the amount of pain that is suffered at heart when you gain something in return. What is it? This is the definition. But you learn from the book whatever definition given. So cost is the amount of money that you pay for getting something. Cost, everybody understands, expenses. But I am not defining here what is cost here. Cost means cost accounting, I have seen cost comparison, cost control, cost reduction, all these things. But I am not dealing that thing now. I am dealing something else. Cost, how many types of costs are there? Cost can be classified in 3 different ways. So my topic is classification. Classification of cost. Classification of cost. You can write this topic I am dealing with classification of cost, and put in such a manner that other chapters are also touched by this. Means cost classification. You also say cost classification. How many different types of costs are there? If anybody follows the book, how many different types of costs are there? And how can you classify it? And classification is different types. Right? Like if I say how many types of students are there, you can say 2 types of students are there only, gender wise. This will be gender wise, right? Girls and boys. If I say how many students, you can say 5. Hindu, Muslim, Jain, Christian, like that. Religion wise. Same group, I can say how many students are there, you can say 10. How? Assamese, Bengali, Hindi, Bihari, Marwari, Manipuri. So language wise. So why I am telling this thing, same thing can be differently classified. So cost can be classified also differently. How? Let me put it here. There may be a question, cost classification. Number 1 is element-wise classification. Element-wise classification. Element-wise classification of cost. This is number 1. And number 2, function-wise. FUNCTION. Function-wise classification. Function-wise classification. And can you tell me last one? Anybody? Same cost you can classify element-wise, then function-wise, and then one more. Anybody can tell me? Anybody idea? Behavior-wise. BHAVIOUR. Behavior-wise. Behavior-wise classification. So this way we can classify cost. Here certain items you may not need and some items you may need, but I have told you the total classification of cost can be done in this way. Element-wise, function-wise and behavior-wise. Let me write in brief what is what. Okay, element-wise what? And I am sure if you understand this lecture, these types of things, then other chapters you can get that out. Even cost it will be clear to you. Whatever things have been clear to you. I've seen the whole syllabus. It will be somehow it will be clear to you what you are studying. Exactly what you are studying, it will be clear to you. So, element to a classification, cost is of 3 types. According to element to a classification, cost is of 3 types. Please remember, materials. Number 2, labor. And number 3, expenses. So according to element wise, of course here, cost are of 3 types: materials, labor, expenses. Okay, you can understand, you can clear, no? Material, labor, expenses. I'll be dealing in detail again with this, but before that, let us see function wise what are the costs. Same cost as I told you about the students, gender wise, language wise, religion wise, same thing. So here function wise, it's very nice that you understand this also. According to function wise, it is production cost. According to function wise, number one is production cost. Okay. Number 2 is selling and distribution cost. This students, if you cannot see now, I'll be giving the video of the sharing, so you can see. So no problem, just now listen. So number 2 is selling and distribution cost. Same thing, hope you understand. Same cost can be divided or classified as according to functions. Number 1 is production cost. You can ask me any one, I will explain next. So production cost. My handwriting is so bad, I am writing it once again. Production cost, selling and distribution cost. And number 3 is office and administration cost. Office and administration cost. Some people say office and administrative expenses are all the same, no? So there are 3 types of cost according to function. According to function, costs are 3 types. Hope you understand? One is production cost, one is selling and distribution cost, one is office and administration cost. Okay? And it's very interesting to know the last one. If the last one you know, then the other courses will be having management accounting and all, budgeting, and many chapters will be getting, I think, in 6th semester or even 6th and cost accounting. Those things will be clear if you understand this thing, last one. I'll be telling you that. All of you know also, but anybody can guess what are the costs according to behavior wise? Anybody can tell me? Any knowledge? Anybody? You know behavioral classification? Did you ever get this type of classification? No. Okay, let me tell you.
Sir.
According to behavior
So someone's calling.
Of their behavior wise. Number 1, fixed cost. Number 2, variable cost. And number 3, semi-fixed or semi-variable. Is it recording?
Yes, sir.
Is it recording? So please watch it. According to behavior-wise classification, cost is fixed cost, number 1. Number 2, variable cost. And number 3, fixed, semi-fixed or semi-variable cost. You can put it off now. Fixed cost means the cost which does not change even if production changes. Suppose your factory rent. If you produce 5 units, you have to pay full factory rent. If you produce 5,000, pay the full factory rent. Correct? So factory rent is fixed cost. And variable, suppose material. If you produce this much, then this much raw material. Produce more raw material, more raw material. Material is variable. But there are certain costs which are both fixed and variable. Like best example I am giving, I don't know, now it is not there in mobile. Earlier the system was there. Suppose you have to pay 300, you have to pay mask. and then as many call, it will be increasing the value. Right? That is semi-fixed. You can take different example like depreciation. Depreciation, even if you do not use the asset, it will be depreciated to some extent. That is fixed. And then more use, more depreciation. Suppose you purchase a car and you are not using for 10 years, do you think it will remain the same value? So that is fixed. It depends on the time. Depreciation depends on time and depreciation depends on use also. Remember. Just example. You've done all these things somewhere in the past. So this lecture will be very much understandable to you. Whatever I pick up, you will understand. See, depreciation you understand. Even if you do not use the asset, there will be some depreciation. That's fixed. And then more use, more debris, less use, less debris. So it's semi-variable or semi-fixed. Got the idea? And like that, this one, production cost. I'm coming that way. Production cost. Production cost means the cost starting from purchase of raw material, labor, etc. up to the stage of primary packing. Please listen once again. Production cost starts from a particular point and goes up another point. Here, labor, material, etc. you procure and start production. From that point you count. And labor this much, material this much, this, that, you count that expenses. From here, you calculate. And production goes on. For example, you produce, suppose tea factory. Then you pluck it, then you pay laborer, right? Start from there. Then you bring it, carrying cost. Then you put in the factory room. Then you dry it. Then you crush it. Then you chemicalize it. Then you put in the machine. And ultimately, the tea comes ready for, and that tea you put in some packet. And that packet, there are two types of packeting, remember. One is primary packing, one is secondary packing. One is primary packing, please bring the bottle. One is primary packing, one is secondary packing. Remember please, packing is of two types. One is primary packing. See, this water is kept in this packet or in this bottle. This is packed, this is primary packing to protect the product. But what is this? This one. It's not necessary, no? But it's necessary for the company secondary packing. In many other products you will find it that way. Primary packing, this one to protect the product. And this is secondary packing to advertise. Advertise. This will increase your sale. Two types of packings are there. In many other things you will be getting two packings. You understand primary packing, secondary packing? So up to the level of primary packing, whatever expenses have been incurred, that will be coming in the production cost. Right? And this one, secondary packing, this will be going to selling and distribution cost. So much of analysis of cost is there. To analyze the cost. Then do 5 minutes cut and do. Okay, cost. It is production cost. Starting from procurement of labor, material and other whatever may be, from the starting you keep on spending the money for production. You know, so many things will be there, carriage will be there, so many other expenses will be there, and all those expenses up to the primary packing, that much of expenses total, that will be production cost. That's the calculation, because we are analyzing it. And second, you again pack this way. In tea also you'll find. In tea also first in one packet and then another packet outside to attract the customers. So second one is to attract the customers means selling and distribution. It will be going there. So the production cost is clear to you? And selling and distribution. You know, there are two things. This cost I am explaining. Whatever expenses you are doing for incurring for selling, they will come in advertisement, salesman commission, then carriage outward. And you can ask yourself, why they are selling and distribution? Two things. They could have been only selling. Let me tell you. What is sale? What is distribution? It's so simultaneously done, you don't understand. But selling and distribution, two different concepts are there. Selling and distribution, two things are there. Let me tell you that. When you go to a particular shop and ask for, give it to me, and you have decided, you'll take it. 100% you'll take it. So it is sold. Then when it gives it is distribution. That analysis. So here when you purchase something or sell something, you cannot distinguish between selling and distribution. Selling means customer has decided 100% sure and done, will purchase it. Sale ho gaya. Then when is given, it is distribution. That's why selling and distribution. The two things are there. See, certain case when you purchase from online, then you pay money or COD, cash on delivery. So agreement is there, it's sold. But it is not yet given to you. Distribution next. Understand? No? So those expenses will be coming as selling and distribution. You have to find the list of expenses will be coming here. Selling and distribution expenses. These explanations will be helping you to do cost sheet very nicely and correctly. There may be small cost sheet, will be very long cost sheet also there. So if these things are clear to you, it will be very easy for you. And office and administration, in every company there is office. See, Guwahati Commerce College there is office. There are some people who are labor here, who is labor in teaching because we are doing the main work. And there, some other people are not doing this type of work. Because college is what? College is a place where knowledge is given. We are giving it. We are main labor, act number labor. But there is other labor also. I will be discussing here again. But there are some people who manage, who administrate, who make plans, who do not teach, nor do the work also. They work in the office. Maybe accountant, maybe auditor and other people, maybe CEO. They are office and administrative expenses. In every company, this is there. So this is done. It's just off. And we have come back from that side. No issue. You have to learn only. So according to element wise classification, there are three types of costs. Clear? We have discussed behavior wise classification, fixed, variable, semi-variable, or semi-fixed, same thing. Then we have discussed function wise classification. Function wise classification, what are these? Production cost, selling and distribution cost, and office administration. Done? Clarified? And then now we are doing this element wise classification. Material, labor, and expenses. This is element-wise classification. There are three types of costs according to element-wise classification. Whatever you produce, think of this chalk only. There was some material, some people worked, there was some labor, and there are some money paid for which you have got neither material nor labor. The expenses. I'll make it clear. And now this material direct and material indirect. Material is of two types. One is direct, one is indirect. Okay? Further classification. And labor is of two types. Labor, let's continue 2-3 minutes. Labor is of two types. One is direct and other is indirect. And expenses two types. One is direct, other is indirect. Focus here, come here. Come here, please, come on. Here. It is very clumsy, but you can understand. Material is of two types, direct, indirect. Labor is of two types, direct, indirect. Expense is of two types, direct, indirect. Let me clarify this and you will find how easy cost accounting becomes for you. Whole cost accounting say, how easy it will become. So, material, direct, indirect. Let me tell you that. Please, now listen. If you take 2-3 minutes, I will explain you. You will find it very, very interesting. So, whom should I ask first? The person who talk? Okay, I will ask you. Can you tell me, please listen everybody, I am asking you a question. Can you tell me how much diesel was used for producing your shirt? Wrong question. Because shirt is made of cloth, I am asked you diesel. Diesel is used in? Right. So wrong question. Sit down. How much diesel was used for making your dress? Wrong question. Wrong question. Okay, sit down. Sit down. How much lubricating oil was used for making your mask? Wrong question. Because mask, cloths, all these things are made of cloths. Right? Now, I was joking. Lubricating oil was used in the factory, in the machine. Diesel was used in the machine. for producing all these things. These are also materials, but you cannot see indirect material. And cloth is direct material. Clarified? So what is direct material? Direct material is that material which is traceable in the ultimate final product. And indirect material is that material which is essential, but ultimately it is not traceable in the product. Clear? Now you admit lubricating oil was used in the machine, but it's a material. Now you don't see, but it was used. Without that, the start would not have been made. Now accept it? Direct material, indirect material. Now you can find lots of examples. You understood? You understood? Okay. Come to this one. 1 minute. Lever. Lever. When you come by bus, a person drives the bus. He is the driver, and he is essential. Without him, bus will not move. But there is a person who cleans the bus when it stops, cleans the wheels. The cleaner, indirect labor, and bus is, and the driver is direct labor. When you go by flight, then that person, pilot, direct labor, and the person who gives you sweet chocolates, air hostess, indirect labor. Indirect labor. And the people working in the airport, ground, indirect labor. In college, we have direct labor. And the people who rings the bell, indirect labor. Correct? Indirect labor. So this is the thing, direct labor, indirect. You can find lots of examples. And last, expenses. Expenses, let me define first. Expenses are the amount paid for which you do not get any material, nor do you get any labor. For example, suppose you are making this road and one car, beautiful car comes. That car is having iron wheels and comes this way and goes that way. And the road becomes plain. I mean the road roller. Road roller. When you make the road without road roller, you cannot give him the finishing touch. Understand? Now will you tell him, will you call him labor? No. Has he given you material? No. This is direct expenses. This is direct expenses. And the other person, indirect. Other expenses done there, indirect expenses. Similarly, one more example. You have, designers. Designers, designer. And designer maybe, designs your clothes, dress, or your shoes, or many other dress items. Designers are very important. So designer makes a particular form of shoe, and that pattern is used in the factory to make your shoes, right? And this person takes lots of money from you, from the company. This is direct expenses. It does not give you any material. You cannot say he's a labor. And one more example, and one more. Suppose you have to make a building. So people are there working, cement, sand, everything is well. But one person, before that, you go to him, he takes a distance of paper, white paper, takes a pencil only, he draws and gives to you. Architect, and you pay him huge amount of money. He gives you a piece of paper. That person is direct expenses. You can say. You cannot say he has given you material. He'll give you this piece of paper only and draw these things. And this paper is a material. You have not paid 20,000 for this material. This is 1 paisa only. So his work is architecture, direct expenses. And other things may be indirect expenses. You can find example, no problem. Indirect expenses, many other expenses which you cannot see ultimately. But the design you can see, the pattern you can see, the design of the grass you can see, the drawing you can see, building, all these are direct expenses. And this way, some expenses are again some expenses are there. You have given him a tea, cup of tea, right? And spend some money, indirect expenses. Indirect. So you have understood. We are closing the video here.